Yo, what's up, America? It's your boy High C, aka Paranoid, back one more time. Today, I'm gonna fill you in on the connections between the Illuminati and your local street gangs. Alright, yo, so me and Rat grew up poor as fuck, right? And, you know, hanging out in the streets and shit, you get mixed up with the quote-unquote wrong crowd or whatever, you know, and, you know, we got into gangbanging and shit, and you know, we used to hang out with Sureño Treses and a bunch of Crip niggas and shit, and so I know a little bit about gangbanging, right? And now I got older, and you know, I'm wiser now, and I've been looking around and stuff, and I started investigating the New World Order and the Illuminati, and I gotta tell you, man, there's some strong similarities between the two. It almost makes me think that the Illuminati runs the gang system of America. So let's start off with initiation. Here we have a couple pics of a Skull and Bones initiation, and here we have some Freemasonic initiation, and here we have some gang initiations. So after you get initiated in both secret societies and in the gangs, you gotta, you know, come in at the bottom of the pyramid. You gotta do your dirt. You gotta put in work. You gotta pay your dues, and you work your way up the pyramid, right? You start out in, you know what I'm saying, you start out on the streets as a YG, and you get jumped in, and you do, you know what I'm saying, you respect your OGs, and you do what they tell you to do, and you prove that you're down, and you move up in the ranks, and you become a G, and then you're a G for a couple of years, and you put in some more work, and you do what, you know, you're supposed to do, and then you become an OG, and then nobody in the gang can fuck with you, and it works the same way with secret societies. Alright, so speaking of degrees, let's talk about the two main branches of Freemasonry. The York Rite, which we can see here, has 13 degrees, or 13 steps, or 13 levels, and the Scottish Rite, as we can see here, has 33 degrees. This is very interesting because two of the main Hispanic gangs, Mara Salvatrucha, or MS-13, and Sureño Trece, both have 13 as their signifying number. And Tre Tre Crips, one of the bigger Crip gangs, uses 33 as its signifying number. So in other words, three of the most predominant gangs out there all use numbers sacred in Freemasonry as their identifying numbers. Alright, let's move on to hand signs. Everybody's seen, you know what I'm saying, rap videos or the gangster movies. Everybody knows what gang signs are. Everybody's been, you know, it's so popular now. Even when you got white chicks throwing up gang signs on the internet now. So, yeah, basically, the Illuminati got hand signs too. You can see some Freemasons doing their hand signs right here. And you can see George Bush throwing up his devil horns, or, you know, his hook'em horns, because he's from Texas or whatever. Real big Texan. He ain't even from Texas. But whatever. But, you know, why the fuck is Bill Clinton throwing it up? Or why the fuck is Dan Quayle throwing it up? Or other world leaders? You know what I'm saying? These people aren't from Texas. Why are these people throwing up the hook'em horns? Speaking of the devil horns, as you can see here, the Latin Kings, another really big street gang, they use the devil horns to signify their gang. Also, they use the crown, which anybody who studies the Illuminati knows that the crown represents the sun, or it's sun worship. And what do we have here? It's a few people you might recognize doing a Masonic handshake.
Okay, thank you for being here. Look at that. Now.
Alright, this is some shit from Folk Nation, one of the larger Crip gangs. And as you can see, they tend to use the Star of David that the Zionists are associated with. And if you look at this picture, you can see the Star of David, a pitchfork, a backward swastika, and if you look closely, you'll see 3 hidden 6s in there as well. And what about biker gangs? Biker gangs use a lot of the same symbolism of the Illuminati too. Take a look at this, the skull and bones. Have you not seen this on many bikers' jackets? Or what about this? It's the cross of the Knights of Malta, a secret society that hardly anybody even talks about. And you see it everywhere in biker culture, even on West Coast choppers. Okay, so if my theory is correct, and the Illuminati created or helped, steer along the path that the gang movement went down, how would this be possible? Well, let's take a look at it. Most of the street gangs work for or underneath the bigger crime families. Like Sureño 13 pretty much does all of the dirty work that La M needs to get done, you know what I'm saying? So, and I'm sure this works with a lot of the other street gangs as well. They're either working for or they're emulating what the bigger crime families are doing. So, let's look at the bigger crime families. Well, this is where it gets deep. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't want to touch this, but what are most of the bigger crime families? What are most of the Sicilian crime families? What are most of the Hispanic or the Mexican mafia crime families? What are most of the Italian crime families? They're all Roman Catholic. And if you've done any kind of real investigation into this, you can't turn a blind eye to the Vatican. You know that the Vatican has a huge role in the Illuminati. For God's sake, they invented the fucking Illuminati. Adam Weishaupt was a Jesuit priest. He's the one that pulled all of the families together in Europe and created the idea of the Illuminati. So, basically, that's how I think it happened. The Roman Catholic Church, working through the crime families, working through the street gangs, they flooded the streets with guns, they flooded the streets with drugs through the CIA and through other organizations to create problems, you know what I'm saying, to create chaos. You flood the streets with guns and crack, and you set up a situation where the problem, the poor people, the worthless, or, you know what I'm saying, the useless eaters, they eliminate themselves. They get themselves locked in the private prisons for profit, where they work making Adidas and New Balance shoes for 32 cents a day, and 16 cents of that 32 cents goes to pay restitution. And, you know what I'm saying, then you got everybody out there killing themselves, killing each other, and basically they take a movement that like the Black Panthers started, where they were trying to empower people, and basically they turn it into something where we're just killing ourselves, we're killing each other, we're killing our brothers and our sisters, and we're doing it without any thought because we're told that that's the way life is, and we just accept it just like everybody else does. So, I don't know, man. It's something that's worth looking into, and if y'all got anything to add to this, you know what I'm saying, leave it in the comments for sure. Alright, and for free downloads of my music, go to Rapsheets, rapsheetz.com. Go to the music page, get some free downloads, political rap music. Alright, so I'm out of here. Until next time, it's your boy Paranoid, and I'm out. Peace.